Ladies and gentlemen, it's 5:30, so we're ready to start with our monthly Ripley Power Board meeting. And I see we've got does anybody know about he's all right, he's probably busy.
He knows.
Yeah, he knows, okay, great. We'll go ahead, I'm sure he'll be all right if we get started. So I'll call this meeting to order and ask the city recorder to call the roll.
Alderman Austin. Here. Alderman Chipman.
Here.
Alderman Frazier.
Here.
Alderman Long.
Here.
Alderman Keeley.
Here.
Alderman Thompson is not here, and Mayor Ritchie.
Here. So we have a quorum, and we'll continue about business. We have item 3, which is the April 7th, 2025 minutes as printed and delivered in your agenda package. So if you can run those down.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Mr. Chipman moves.
Second.
Ms. Alston seconds. Is there discussion? I hear none. We'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. You approve those minutes. We have no public comments, so we'll move to item 5. Excuse me. In the mayor's comments, we have on the agenda Ripley Power and Light Board member interest. You may have seen in the newspaper that we put the official notice out that we'll have a new power board. We're asking for anyone interested. We just had some very, very broad qualifications to respond to, and I think we've had some responses directly to the Ripley Power and Light Company, and then we had some to City Hall. Is that still open?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and it closes
I believe it was the 14th of this month.
the 14th of this month. So that's for public consumption as well. And so we will, and then I think the posture would be that since we're going back to the law, it's in the books now. I think July 1st is the start date of that board, so we're going to try to get it done next month, and then move forward back into to the way that it was set up earlier. Just for the board's information, all the information that we asked the Power and Light to provide us has been provided. So we're at a good position now, I think, to move forward. That's all I have, unless anybody has any questions about that. Okay, we'll move to item number 6, which is our superintendent's report. Mr. Alderman, you're recognized.
Just a couple of updates. I think last meeting we talked about the pension. We passed that contingent on Frank Carter's review. He did review that. He had a couple of changes that he thought needed to be made. A couple were just things he had left out of the old agreement. The only real main change was that where a person retires and we only owe them $1,000, we used to write them a check. We moved that to $5,000. That way we don't have the administration of carrying that $5,000 or,
So basically, you're saying if they have a lump sum they're entitled to, instead of limiting to 1,000 and every month another 1,000 or something,
yeah.
you just pay it off.
Well, yeah, if it's supposed to be as much as the 5,000, which hadn't been there long,
Okay.
when it gets to that, then we can just write a check for it, and that way we don't have the administration cost of doing that. The second thing is,
Before I hate to interrupt you again, but on the first part with the lawyer looking at it, we're under no time constraints now. He's supposed to get back to us.
he's supposed to, I'm trying to push him hard as I
Okay.
can. There is a time constraint, and I've yet to have the actuarial people tell me the drop dead date, but this is the IRS requirement.
Right.
The very first one I got, when we started talking about this, it said it needed to be soon. Well, he hadn't defined soon, but I assumed that with IRS, we don't want to get on that
You're right about
list.
that.
So I've asked Frank to take one more quick look. They did, when we sent the information before, they sent it back. As you know, it's 140-something plus pages. I read through it, I think they got some of the information wrong, so that's when I sent it back to Frank. I told him to check these items. I'm waiting up, and he said he'd take a look at it, so I assume that we'll hear from him pretty soon.
Pretty soon.
So if that's all right, once those changes, I think we've already approved it, if I can get it back to y'all.
Get those confirmed.
Get the signature.
All right, sir.
The other thing on the tri-party agreement, we actually passed that and signed it, and after that, we found what we considered a mistake. There were several little things that needed to be corrected, and even though we signed it, we didn't send it in. One of the major things was that the tri-party agreement deal between Silicon Ranch and TVA, those are the main two parties in this. Ripley Power Light's the third party making a tri-party agreement, but our part in this is simply they come through our substation out on the TVA's transmission line. That's really all. But in TVA's tri-party agreement, we noticed that TVA was saying that whatever land they needed, if they needed additional land, if they needed land to put switches, whatever they needed, that we would deed it to them. Well, we're not gonna deed part of our substation to TVA for a project that's not really ours. The point is, Silicon Ranch has got, and I know they wouldn't care, they've got 45 acres, they say. So I changed it to take us out, leave Silicon Ranch in, because the agreement is really between them. If they need more land, they got 45 acres, all they have to say. The main thing, they're really not gonna need any land, but it's never a good move to sign something like that, because you don't know what they're gonna need 20 years down the road, and you've already signed that you're gonna deed it to them, so. Like I say, it's already signed, but we're not gonna send that in until we hear back.
As y'all understand, that's
I don't, who owns the 45 acres?
Silicon Ranch owns 45 acres, but they're coming from, they own about 400 plus acres.
Yeah.
But they're coming from their project into our substation. They'll have a transformer. We'll move that through our substation out onto TVA's transmission line. So it really is an agreement between those two. The only reason it's a tri-party is they have to come through our substation. So in this is where we've said, whatever you need, we're here to help you with, but our customer's not gonna pay a penny for anything. So we're out and no money, and we didn't see where we ought to be out of land either. So that's all it's doing. And Silicon Ranch's not gonna buy them because they're not.
And they're both there, those properties are both there.
They're together.
So,
So I mean,
anybody have a question about that?
Just who's reviewing and advising on behalf of Ripley Power and Light
our consultants.
on that agreement?
Well, we had a look at it. We had it last week last month when we signed it.
I realize the board did, but I'm asking, is there an attorney reviewing it on behalf of the board or Ripley Power and Light? That's a fairly significant contract for.
It
Well,
really is.
we're already in the contract.
Yeah, it's really not significant in that they're just coming into our substation. So it's more than legal, the technical side of it is what we're looking at. So our Fisher Arnold consultants, they're the ones that gone through this contract and picked out every piece of it that needs to be altered and changed. So as long as we have it technically right, then TVA's got their legal side covered, Silicon Ranch has got their legal side covered, and ours is no more than a pass-through. So,
Well, if you want to look at it, you can look at
Well, no, it just sounds like we almost agreed to give property away. So,
So Attorney
yes,
Jackson,
it-
she's found out attorney.
it. I think what happened was, it looks like to me, that was, not meant for us, but meant for, Silicon Range. Yeah.
Right,
And,
and again, any
and we haven't
contract-
sent the contract in, right?
Yeah, no.
All right.
In any contract we have, we go over it and over and over before we send it back to make sure. Those consultants have done this many times, so they can pick out things that a lawyer wouldn't understand what it really meant or what it does. So
Well-
I think that's
You know, we're at the power board level now, and we've already, I think we've already committed to the project.
yeah,
I mean,
it's
you know, the
really
land-
exciting.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah,
I think you got a copy of the changes that I think it. These right here, this right here. And before this, we had several pages of things that we had to make them change and get them to change.
so we haven't delivered it anyway, is that
No,
right?
no, we won't deliver it till it's right.
Okay.
And that's really in the hands of the TDA and Silicon Range right now. We've sent this back, and they've not responded yet. TDA is pretty stubborn on the fact that, yeah, we may not need any land, but this is our standard agreement. I'm pretty stubborn. There's no, they can change the wording, so.
Well, if we have to, I guess we can enter into some agreement with,
Yes, they're gonna do it. I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying with Silicon Range.
Right.
They asked, the problem is if they said, okay, we want this piece of land deeded to us right in your substation.
yeah.
That's where it becomes a problem. Because that's not Silicon Ranch's, that's our customers, so.
Well, let's do it this way then. If we don't get, if we get a positive response from them, then we're fine. If not, we got more to do.
Yeah, we'll bring it back and,
Is that all right with
and
everybody?
like I say, if you need a copy of this, these are the changes that we
Okay.
asked for. I think the next thing is, that you probably have in front of you, is bids for transformers. We're purchasing 2,500 transformers for Komatsu. I know Thurman's here to back me up on the need. It's, we've got probably 5 bids there. The bid that is dated April 30th, 2025 for 2 2,500s. That's probably, and I hate to say this, probably close to the right price, because there are 2 bids here from the same company. One of them looks like that, and the other one is April 25, from the same company. But when they sent the second bid back, because Komatsu wanted a longer spade to where they could put their wire to, so we went back and asked. That's why the increase in the price. But when they did that, they didn't put all the specs back, so we don't really know if they gave us the same thing. So number one, we're asking to make sure that it has the same voltage, because if you, I know it's technical, but if you look down next to the last sentence, it says 13,200 GY/7600. That's what we consider a Y transformer. This, on the other one here, if you look at 1, 2, 3, it's about 6 ones, where you see the 14.4, 13.8, 13.2, those numbers. That's what it should be. So a couple of things, we're gonna make sure that that's right. The other thing that they didn't put on, because we didn't know it was available, were elbow arresters. I noticed on this one, on the one I showed you before, it says not included. Well, we didn't know it wasn't included until it said not included. So we've asked them to include that. So this price could change a little bit. Now, the reason we are here is that this needs to be done right away because they are waiting on these. This is very important to them. If we wait 30 days, a couple of things are gonna happen. If you notice the delivery time,
Right.
this says 12 weeks. That's because a spot opened up for ERMCO and they can get it done. If you look at some of the others, I mean, it's way out there. So if we wait, we could lose the spot and we could lose the price because we lost the spot.
So are you asking this board then to approve it, subject to this change that you?
Yeah, that it may change just a little bit in price. Yes, we need to prove it. The good part of this also, and I know, is they're gonna pay for it.
Oh, okay.
It's over time, but they pay an investment charge, so
Okay.
there's a lot more things than this transformer that's going into this project. All of that is put together, transportation, labor, everything, and they will pay a monthly fee for that, so that money will be returned to the customer.
What did you say the cost was?
The cost shown right here is $66,867, and that's for one. So we need two.
I ain't got to.
It's, the one is dated April 30th on top.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see the others were 76,000 with 80 to 85 week delivery. We had some, couple over, one 126,000, one 131,000, so it's a good price. They're not far from here, which is good, and they're willing to give us a 12-week delivery. We just hope we can get it in 12 weeks. So in order to accommodate this, we need to,
So is that your report?
yes.
Oh, that's a full report then. All right. It looks like we may have two, the first about the change about the TVA wants the land, to buy the land on that. Where we are is we haven't delivered that contract, and
Wait on
I
the
guess the
spot.
motion would be to allow the superintendent to sign that contract if he's,
You've already signed it, I believe.
to deliver that contract.
Just to
if-
deliver it once we got it.
Once we got it like we want. Would anybody like,
You've already signed it,
yes, we did that, yeah, we voted.
so I make the motion.
Okay, the motion is made by Ms. Alston. Is there a second?
Second.
Second made by Mr. Long. So it's before us. Is there any further discussion? If not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
You normally require a roll call when you spend money like that.
We don't usually, we're close, yeah.
Okay.
And,
We'll do it this way then. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. There's unanimous. Okay. And the next thing concerns the two transparencies. And the motion would be, I believe, to authorize the purchase of those per their specs as soon as the superintendent is satisfied, and Komatsu is as well. And I see a head shake by both the superintendent and the representative from Komatsu. It's good to see you, thank you.
Yeah.
So we have somebody that, if he's shaking his head, that makes it sound good too.
Yeah.
Because he knows about that fine company. Okay, was that head shake considered a motion?
Yes, that's a motion.
Well, I don't know, we don't want to get a conflict in there, but, I don't know. It's not a motion. So we have a motion, is there a second? Tyler seconds. So we have a motion and a second to, allow the superintendent to sign the contract as soon as, or to deliver the contract as soon as he's satisfied with it. Any further discussion? If not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. You adopt. All right, let's go back to the agenda and see where we are. We have the superintendent's report. We're now considering power transformer bids, which we just completed. And we have a budget as presented. You have that in your package. It's fiscal year 2026 budget. Mr. Alderman and I have gone over this so I would understand it a little bit better. Are there any comments on the budget, Mr. Alderman?
In your budget, do you have a pay increase for your employees?
We have a figure that we put in, and
Is it a percentage
yes,
or
percentage.
flat rate?
It's a percentage, and the way we do it, there's 14 power distributors in West Tennessee. We kind of look at all of them. It appears that between 3 and 4%. So we put 4% in just the budget. Now, what happens, it really will depend on if a person is at the top of their pay grade, they may get 2%. But then you got somebody that needs to increase, they may get 4% or 4.5%. The last few years, if you're a lineman, you just better get whatever you want. Because if they don't, they'll go somewhere else. I mean, so during the year sometimes I do make adjustments. Because I've had one lineman that went to a contractor here a couple of months ago. Fortunately, as I told him, I thought, when you get out there and see the world, it may not look the same as you think it was going to be, so we're not going to cancel your benefits. And fortunately, we didn't, because he came right on back in about 5 days. So again, some of that's a little iffy, but again, the way we've got that percentage is contacting.
In your budget, do you have equipment that you're gonna replace?
That's on the last sheet you should have
What
there.
biggest equipment you're gonna replace?
Do what?
The biggest equipment you're gonna replace?
The biggest equipment right now,
The most expensive?
right now, let me just do it like this. We have 2 bucket trucks, which are expensive, a digger truck, 125 horsepower John Deere tractor with 15-foot batwing push hog, a trencher that is in new condition, a skid steer, maybe one more piece. We've got a lot of equipment. Actually, we're looking at, we usually auction this ourselves, but I think this would be better on a national auction to where I've seen people at those that, they could be in Canada or California or wherever.
Are you adding on, or are you just replacing?
Actually, we replaced all of those.
Or do you trade the old in?
Sometimes, but very rarely, because on the bucket trucks, they'll tell you, you can trade it in, but we're not gonna give you anything for it, because we're gonna put it on our lot, wash it, and try to make a profit on it. So we've done really, really well auctioning stuff right here. But this is some major equipment, and I think we're gonna make a lot more money by going to a lot more people.
Thank you.
And we replaced the tractor and all that, and the trencher and all that with a skid steer with all the attachments, which seems to do a much better job.
And these are reflected in your budget, and you have the revenues to cover those
Yes,
expenses.
you'll see the revenue, the expenses, and you'll see that the operating margin shows 36,000. It's on the second page there. Now, what that doesn't reflect in that budget is the generation. So on top of that, there's $480,000 a year that we don't show in the budget. And the reason we don't show it is if for some reason it didn't start 3 times when asked by TVA to start, they could cancel the contract. or if a tornado blew it off the foundation, you're not gonna get that money anymore. So our board's always said, don't put something in the budget that could go away overnight. And you gotta go back and raise rates to try to recoup that, so that's 36,000, we know we've got 480,000.
And you're audited every year, and the auditors
Yeah,
agree with the way you're treated.
right. And the other capital expenditure proposed is on the last page there. I don't know if you have- Yeah, and we're just saying that digger derrick, you see on the bottom there, it says two-year lead time. So when we order a bucket truck or a digger derrick, we have to order those at least 2 years ahead to get it. So we're, you know, they're just charging whatever they want for them too. They'll call you and say, it's here, do you want it? If you don't, I got somebody else will take it.
And then you have to, if you can't, then you have to 2-year wait.
Yeah.
So,
The other is the transformer that we ordered for the East Industrial Park substation, which should be in hopefully the end of this month.
that would be for added capacity.
Yeah, just added capacity, and I know we don't have people added what capacity, because we just hadn't landed an industry or anything, but, we have plans for, I think it'll be, it puts us in a better place than any utility around here. Covington has no capacity left. Brownsville just added a substation, but only one transformer to take care of the industrial park, so they got no real added capacity. So we're in a great place right now in Ripley for capacity.
Any other questions? Now, as we're the power board on this one, so we actually vote on this to approve this budget as presented, and will be the budget for that department. And then tonight, later on in our meeting, we just have to accept the budget that's been. So we're at the first stage. Is there a motion to accept the budget as presented and as described by the superintendent?
So moved.
Ms. Alston moves. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Long seconds. Is there any further discussion? If not, well, let's take a roll call on this one.
Alderman Austin.
Yes.
Alderman Chipman.
Yeah.
Alderman Frazier.
Yes.
Alderman Long.
Yes.
Alderman Keeley. Yes. And Mayor Ritchie.
Yes. That passes. And that is all I have. Mr. Superintendent, do you have anything else? Any questions from the board? If not, it's 6 o'clock, so we will stand adjourned. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you.